Hello and welcome to all the ghouls and vampires out there. I'm Joe, here with me is my co-host Stan.
Hello and greetings.
We continue with our podcast, our Mystery Inc. one, with Daphne declaring that she's going to be going from coast to coast, trying to search for, as the talk show host says, from ghost to ghost for real haunted locations and stuff. She's kind of wanting to do that instead because she feels unfulfilled and as though she left something a loose end hanging in her previous life with Mystery Inc. On the other hand, the talk show host mentions that it's too bad you won't be joined by the others of your crew. At which point Daphne ends up saying, yeah, I do miss them. And Freddy then gets the brilliant idea to rally the crew together. The first pair that he decides to go for is, of course, Shaggy and Scooby, the very hearts and stomach of the team. With Shaggy and Scooby apparently really missing Daphne, and you get a sense that they also missed the good old days because they're basically washed up. They peaked pretty much in college, and life's been downhill for them, with the implications being that Shaggy's barely managing to meet his regular bills, so to speak, and that he's living well below the poverty line, which I imagine many people in America could relate to. Needless to say, I kind of relate to that, just the poverty part. But anyways, as far as Shaggy and Scooby go, they are promptly scolded by their boss as a bit of a jerk and told to get back to work. They're working in airport security, checking bags and whatnot, but the trouble is that the contraband they're most interested in is food for some weird reason. That's not real contraband. Like, what the heck? But they end up discovering a suitcase full of clothes, and Shaggy tells Scooby, well, I think your nose needs some work. At which point Scooby goes, rah-rah, and proceeds to start digging through it in a manner that I'm kind of thinking might be a little illegal. And, of course, he discovers, I think, a cheese wheel or something. And they, of course, stash it, at which point they get hungry and decide, we're going to, chow down.
We can't have any people sneaking food illegally to other places in the world. I mean, do you know what that could do?
Probably not anything too dangerous.
Could push the cheese market out of business.
Who cares? Well, it's North American cheese. Is it real cheese? Gotcha. But I'm just saying because we're French, so to us, North American cheese is garbage for the most part. Anyways, you have Shaggy and Scooby who then eat everything. Their boss is horrified to find out that they ate almost all the contraband. They left a little for him. He's not impressed by this and proceeds to yell at them and tell them they're fired. At which point they say, "Oh no, we're gonna starve. We're gonna become nothing but skin and bone." While they've never been more obese, which is just hilarious. This is one of the funniest scenes in the movie. I'm gonna be honest. I love
the
this
melodrama.
Yeah. And then, of course, they get a phone call from Freddy saying, hey, wanna join up? At which point they say, like, totally. I'm kidding. Now, we're just recapping here. Now, Shaggy and Scooby get the call from Freddy. Velma gets the call. She's kind of bored with life. Anyways, next scene cuts to Freddy driving around a block to in front of a house where Daphne's waiting. We're probably supposed to guess that that's her house. So obviously she's doing well enough that she was able to buy a house. I am assuming here. Then again, the housing market was a lot better in the year 2000 than it is, well, today.
Well, we could assume it's her house because she's had a television interview.
Yeah, she's obviously a celebrity and had a successful career. That said, she's probably almost the only one, outside maybe Freddie, who has had a pretty successful career. Velma left hers to rot because she's been bored with it, and Shaggy and Scooby just never had a career. They've been eating their way through it. And Freddie parks in front of Daphne, apologizes because he's late. Daphne's angry with him. And Freddie has been used and refuses to be, well, lured into an argument and keeps taunting her about forgetting something. So apparently she has really bad memory problems right now, as she seems to have forgotten that it's her birthday. That being said, I can relate. I've forgotten my own birthday a few times. So, not going to judge too much. And of course, you have the whole surprise as Velma and the dynamic duo, not Batman and Robin, the real dynamic duo, lunge out with confetti and whatnot, and are very, very happy to see her with Scooby, of course, licking her face, and Freddy's, and Velma's, because Scooby's, well, how do I put it? A dog! So, yeah. Overall, there's not much to read into this scene. Daphne has been overworking herself. The thing is, she's a independent business owner. So this means no matter what, you're working yourself to the bone. And almost into an early grave. Freddy is basically her sole employee. So he's been working himself to the bone, but he's kept an eye on birthdays. Well, he's basically the boyfriend, so he's kind of got the job to do that. As for Velma, yeah, I don't know what her excuse is for being here. I'm kidding, actually. We find out that Daphne thinks this is the best gift one could ask for because she's very pleased to see her old friends, which speaks to the loneliness of the past few years. So probably she's been filling up her life with work. You know, that are cats, but the work was probably better for her anyways than, well, a bunch of fur balls with claws.
Yes, she needs to make sure that the resident furball with a stomach is better treated.
Yeah, well, given how this movie shows cats, they're not a blessing on humanity. They're rather humanity's bane.
Yeah.
Anyways, the next scene will see us get into, well, the rebirth of Mystery Inc. So, until next time, don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button to stay tuned for that.